Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today we're taking a look at, from the Earthspark line, what might be some of the last figures released in the line. These are the one-step smash changers. Now, much like the flip changers, you don't have to get violent or, slam these figures down. A simple press, as I'll demonstrate, will be enough to change them. But this is wave one, might be the only wave, and we have Terran Thrash, Megatron, and of course Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. Three core characters from the series here, and one of the new introduced characters that, is one of the faces of the line. I'm kind of surprised they went with Thrash instead of Twitch, but that might be because that really shortly before this was released, there was a repaint of the Twitch flip changer. So maybe they want to give Thrash a time. But as we all know, when it comes to these lines, if you don't have Optimus Prime, Megatron, and Bumblebee, and probably usually Starscream, stores won't carry it. But we'll take a look at each one individually. Very simple figures, no articulation. I picked these up from Target.com. They are showing up in stores there as well as Walmart. And other than that, I really haven't seen them available online elsewhere. I'm pretty sure Amazon doesn't have them yet, but of course, by the time I'm recording this or you're seeing this, that might have changed. So we'll start off and take a look at Thrash. Thrash turns into a motorcycle, much like it does in the show. Unfortunately, the sidecar is not included, but it does roll, even though you do have obvious robot feet dangling down. There's just enough clearance there. Now, as I mentioned, really the easiest way to transform these is if you grab these rear fins, which actually all of them do have in various designs and styles. I'm doing a quick look here, and I don't see them sharing any of the same parts, but basically what you want to do is grab, press down, and Thrash is actually one of the harder ones because of that back wheel, but if you just, there you go. If you press down far enough, everything swings up, and there he is. You have a nice view of the chest there, and then the head. I mean, obviously, with these one-step changers, since they don't do the articulation, um, they can go into the detailing of the robot head there and stuff like that, and the coloring. Very nice. Like I said, no articulation. To reset, just pull back on the wheel here, and that'll slide everything down, and then you can just press down again, and there you go. So, like I said, Thrash gets stuck a little. It's kind of hard just because of that back wheel. But that's kind of what happens when you have a motorcycle. And to be honest, in terms of one-step changers, this is the first time I've seen a motorcycle. So that's kind of cool. So let's pause and we'll take a look at Bumblebee. Bumblebee, of course, is sporting its Earthspark stylized version of the Evergreen design, which is really its movie design with a more animation friendly head and, angles and detailings. But do have some vents back there. Rolls fairly well, nothing too special. Now, the flip changer was actually one of the better ones because everything came around quite nicely, especially when you figured out that you could just tip it over and not have to try to get the flip in the air. So again, like we saw with Thrash, if you just press that on the rear, much easier this time. Very fluid too. There you have Bumblebee's face. Some of the design work right there. Not bad. I mean, it is what it is, to be very honest with you. These are, again, very simple. To reset, just bend it forward. Now this one, Bumblebee, I'll admit, I've had a little, sometimes we'll have a hard time getting it to stick. And there's the hook right there, so you might want to play with that black section. But hold it down, roll it up, press down, and there you go. So, easy peasy, lemony squeezy. Actually, due to the wheels, it kind of wants to lean forward a little. So there is that. But that's about it for Bumblebee. let's pause and take a look at Megatron. Megatron might be my favorite out of the four, just because there is a little bit more to its transformation than is initially apparent. First thing you want to do is actually come into the front here and fold down these wings, just like so. So they fold up like that. And then what you can do is just grab these rear fins here, press down, and there you go. Megatron pops up, and as you can see, by folding down those wings, the rotors end up in position where they should be. Now, in the packaging, they kind of show the wings folded out and just pointing off to the back, and you can do that. They might have put a hinge here just for ease of packaging. Who knows? But I kind of dig it. So just fold everything back down. It'll fold up and snap into place quite nicely. Fold out the wings. They're on some soft detents, so you can have some play there. The propellers do spin. And once again, just press down. Things will swing up and flip out. And then rotate the wings down. There's a quick look of Megatron's head for nice stylized look for the show. Decepticon logo. I have to admit, I kind of fell off on the series after the first couple episodes. So I don't know if Megatron stayed a good guy or eventually rejoined the Decepticons. I have to be honest that I've never enjoyed media that presents Megatron either as a reformed villain or a straight up good guy, but that could just be me. But to finish things off, let's pause and take a look at Optimus Prime. Okay, and here's Optimus Prime, and I have to say that out of the four, at least in my case, Optimus Prime is the worst. Number one, I'm sure as you've noticed, the front end does not want to stay together, which does affect the ability for the truck to roll on the wheels. It's really just the back section that's rolling, and I mean, I think it might be a tightness in the springs. It might be that the plastic is a little warped because it's a very thin plastic up here. The other thing is, as you can see, the windshield here, which also becomes the chest, there is a little scraping there, removing of the paint. This is because, again, even though they were supposed to be removed, obviously this being the kid-friendly stuff still uses that open front packaging and is susceptible to scratching. I mean, there was air bubbles in the packaging, but there was no padding to separate the individual figures, nor should you really expect something like that from a retailer like Target. To accentuate the transformation, grab the agitate or activate the transformation. Grab the fin, the rear section here. Again, these little fins. Press down, and Prime will spring up just like that. Now, one thing that this figure has going for it that the others don't is the head can rotate. Do find that very interesting. I think it has to do with how things transform, and there's like a sliding hinge there, so maybe they had it's really not meant to rotate, but because they had to put the head on a panel like that, it just ends up rotating anyway. And of course, to reset the vehicle mode or transform back to the vehicle mode, you just fold everything down like so. Make sure this locks in the back section, and there you go. So press down again, and it'll spring up just like that. It's nice. It's a nice representation of the primes of the robot and vehicle mode from Earthspark. Obviously, some of the larger scaled figures have done it better. I never got a hand on the flip changer, so but I did like the way that one looked. So you have options. I mean, God knows it's Optimus Prime. There were plenty of toys for Optimus in the Earthspark line. So we'll pause, and we'll come back for some very quick final thoughts. So really, as we all know, these figures are what they are. They're very simplified, one-step changers designed for kid-friendly hands and just to be fun little desk toys. Just because they're designed to be simple doesn't necessarily mean that older collectors can't get something out of it. And that's something I like to stress when I look at these simplified figures. Sometimes you just want something you can fiddle with. You're not going to have to worry about breaking, or you're going to need like a whole roadmap of instructions to figure out how to transform an arm. And let's be honest, there's been some figures in the past few years that have been like that. Um, Out of the four, I would say you can go with Megatron, Bumblebee, and maybe Thrash. I mean, I think I like Thrash the most just because I've never seen a one step motorcycle before. We've had one step cars, we've had plenty of one step flying vehicles, but a motorcycle is kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, you saw that I had to fiddle with it a little to get it going, but again, that could be mine, and to be honest, I rather have to be a little aggressive to get it into the robot mode than have it just randomly spring open. Prime is fine, it's just that mine has the issues with the front end sticking together, and mine came with a little bit of the paint scraped off. I mean, there's really nothing I can do about it in that regard. Um, that's just the nature of the packaging and how it's shipped, and it's not something I'm going to complain or try to get money back about because it end up being more of a hassle than it's worth. But as I said, I got this off of Target.com. They are showing up in Target stores now. They are also showing up in Walmart. I have not seen them on Walmart.com, I don't think. But then again, I haven't looked. Obviously, the search engines on those main retailer websites, not the easiest thing to navigate, just something to keep in mind. So you might want to think about using Google first if you're going to look. And like I also said, I haven't seen them on Amazon yet, but they might show up. You know, Hasbro doesn't really promote or advertise these kid-friendly lines, so don't be surprised if they just show up. But that's about it for the review. If you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe. Well, I always appreciate the views. The likes, comments, and descriptions help communicate to YouTube through the algorithm that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. To make the ultimate sign of support, there is a Patreon. I have www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month and $12 a year. And I do have to say that Patreon does help take the edge off of some of these, especially as the interest from online communities has slowly but steadily been moving away from supporting video content creators. That's just an unfortunate thing. Um, we are still out there making, but it's, your views and your support on platforms like Patreon that really help keep us going. Now, with that being said, if you can't afford the $1 a month or $12 a year, that's perfectly fine. Your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is just a cherry on top of an already generous Sunday. So, that's about it. Once again, for Smash Changers, Bumblebee, Thrash, Megatron, and Optimus Prime, we will see you next time.